Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise today to speak about a bill that will increase research funding, focus on the development of more effective treatments for rarer forms of cancer. I thank the member for Edinburgh South West for bringing this bill today. But like many in this House, I rise because I've lost a family member to a rare cancer, and I also rise as a member of the Health and Social Care Select Committee. In the last Parliament, the Health and Social Care Select Committee conducted the Future Cancer Inquiry, which recommended, and I quote, that the UK should be leading on driving up international action to tackle the poor outcomes for the least survivable and least common cancers. This bill will do that. But as I say, my reason for speaking today is much more personal than that. On January the 20th this year, my brother Alex English passed away from high-grade actinic cell carcinoma, a form of salivary gland cancer, and I tell this story to highlight what we can win. Because this bill can gift families with more time with the special people that they love. Increasingly more common cancers are treatable or they're illnesses people can live with. But for rare cancers, we still have a way to go. And without focus, we won't get any further. There are over 700 diagnoses of various forms of salivary gland cancer each year. But my search of Hansard for related terms only finds 2 mentions in this chamber in the past 30 years. The member for Edinburgh South West will have given it the 3rd. One of those mentions was me following the death of my brother. And that's why we need more focus. In their evidence to that Select Committee inquiry, Cancer 52 noted that while 47% of diagnoses are of less common cancers, rare cancers account for 55% of deaths. Members across this House have our own cancer journeys, either ourselves or friends or loved ones. And I want to talk about my brother's journey. And not all cancer journeys have the outcome that we want. And even with this bill, we're still going to lose some people. But what more investment into research for rare cancers can give us is crucial. It can give us time. And I'd do anything for more time with my brother. If you'll indulge me, Madam Deputy Speaker, I'd like to talk for a minute about the person who Alex was. Because the most important thing about Alex wasn't just how he died. It was how he lived and the mark he left on the world. He fit a lot into 53 years. A lot of us think that our older siblings are rock stars, but in my brother's case, that was literally true. The band he joined at university called Pure toured with bands like Soundgarden, and they reached the top 10 in Japan. I've always been tremendously proud to call him my brother. I was proud of the horse-drawn narrowboat company he ran in Hebden Bridge, which formed part of many people's happy childhood memories. And his subsequent time at the National Trust, helping properties to become profitable, working to restore nature and working with local authorities. His last major project was creating woodlands near Lunt in Liverpool. But most of all, I was proud of the person he was. He was always funny, he had a surreal wit. He was unfailingly kind and that sort of toxic, non-toxic model of masculinity that the world needs more of. I remember the humour and love in the best man speech he gave for me. And I'll never not be sorry that I've written eulogies for my brother, but never a best man speech. While preparing for Christmas in 2023, I got a call from Alex and he asked if I had a minute to talk, which is unlike him because he wouldn't generally be over serious. He said he had a lump on the side of his face that was, in his words, unsightly but not overly concerning. It might be cancer, but there were a number of other things that it could have been. And if it was cancer, it was likely a very treatable form. He instructed me to be aware of it but not make a big deal of it because typically he didn't want to worry our mum. Later it transpired it was actinic cell carcinoma, but the prognosis was good. They were going to operate, and the cancer continued to grow. His operation took 14 hours. The thing about Alex's tumour is that the version of the illness he had was high grade, which meant that it mutated faster. It's something that's only been identified in about 100 cases. something that no doubt could have been identified earlier had we known more about cancers like his. Last spring in my mum's garden, during a hushed conversation with a different family member to the side, they told me that Alex might only have 18 months to live. I hugged my 2-year-old son who was playing in the garden unaware because I was trying not to make a big deal of it, but sometimes you need to hug someone. And every update got worse, until I took a day off during the election campaign to visit him at the Christie Hospital because his lung had collapsed. But then, because it's never a straight line, his health improved. He got to sit up there in the gallery to watch my maiden speech in Parliament. We went to a Pixies concert together at the Peace Hall in Halifax. Then it got worse, Madam Deputy Speaker. On Christmas Eve last year, he was hospitalised again. And when he returned home, we knew he was coming home to die. I can't say enough about his wonderful friends, particularly Matt and Sarah, and my incredible family who cared for him at the end. And all of us would have spent more time at his bedside if we could, because time with people you love is a privilege. And that's what this bill is about. Giving people more time with those that they love, perhaps even a full lifetime together. And in the cases where the cancer is worse and it can't be treated or cured, it's about giving more time, better health, and an understanding of the journey that people are on. More special moments, be they a Pixies concert, reading a story to a child. Alex read the best stories. And time to organise what you leave behind. People who develop cancers that are rare still matter. They still deserve more time. The work to help people like Alex in the future must start today. This government has a renewed emphasis on tackling rare cancers, both in memory of the sister for the Honourable Member for Mitcham and Morden, for Tessa Jow, and for countless other campaigners, including those in the gallery today. But what we need is focus. We need determination to respond quickly. I thank this House for indulging me today. Let's be that world leader in tackling rare cancers that so desperately are needed. Let's give families special time with those that they love the most. And let's pass this bill today.